a year, Madam Speaker, has not been able to do it. $400 million. How much does the UPP need to get the job done? Do they need 500 million? Do they need 600 million? Or Mr. Minister of Finance said it's going to be $1 billion. Is it 1 billion? Well, tell the country when you reach 1 billion, then you will stop taxing them. How much will be too much for this UPP government? And when will enough taxation of poor people be enough taxation of poor people for this UPP? And you know what, Madam Speaker? What have they done with the money? Our colleagues on the honourable other side, Madam Speaker, in their vain attempts to fool the people, misrepresent the figures. But I want to tell you, Madam Speaker, it's our sacred duty, our sacrosanct responsibility to this country, as her loyal majesty's subjects of the loyal opposition, that we have a duty, a sacred duty to come here and to question these figures, and a sacred duty to inform the people of this nation that the people's tax dollars have been squandered and misspent by the UPP on a number of upside-down priorities. And let us look at the figures. In 2006, the UPP government reported actual expenditure of $642.3 million, Madam Speaker. Right here, out from their own budgeting. $642.3 million. We were told that as a result of the Cricket World Cup, this amount would have to be increased in 2007. So the UPP budgeted to spend $827.7 million in 2007, which amounts to an increase of $185.4 million. The UPP then managed to overspend the increased 2007 budget. Overspend the increased 2007. Then they came back here and tell this house they need more money. And they overspend, they bust up the budget by $141.9 million. It's in the table. It's in their document. I didn't manufacture it. They overspend the 2007 budget by $141.9 million. For a total spend, Madam Speaker, of $969.6 million. I repeat, $969.6 million. $327.3 million more than the actual spent in 2006. Do you understand that, Madam Speaker? They spent nearly $330 million more than what they spent in 2006. Of course, the Finance Minister's budget statement differs from the 2008 estimates of the recurrent expenditure for 2007, because the Finance Minister says here on page 91 of his budget statement that is $847.2 million for 2007. But if you look at the very first page, not this ugly page, the other page, the first page of the budget speech, it tells you, Madam Speaker, that the revised recurrent expenditure for 2007 is really $969.6 million. Madam Speaker, the Finance Minister's explanation for this $327.3 million spike in expenditure from 2006 to 2007 is limited to increased outlays related to the preparation of Cricket World Cup 2007, payment of back pay to civil servants, and the implementation of the voluntary separation package. But ironically, Madam Speaker, the Honourable Minister was aware of all these responsibilities within the first year of his stewardship. But that is why he planned to spend in 2007 $185.4 million, more than it spent in 2006. So this is the fact of the superior fiscal planning and the superior fiscal implementation expertise. It actually overshot the actual 2006 spend by $327.3 million this year. This, Madam Speaker, is eloquent testimony of the UPP's reckless mismanagement reckless mismanagement, performance. And where is this $327.3 million of value to be seen? Where the money gone, Mr. Minister? Clearly, Madam Speaker, the reason the UPP has not been able to stabilize the fiscal operations of government after 4 years of record-breaking increases in government revenue is because of gross indiscipline and lack of controlling expenditure by the Ministry of Finance. The Minister of Finance, he allowed the member for St. Philip South, because he support him, to overspend, to boss up his budget. There's no controls, there's no checks in public works. Can you imagine the minister has the gall and the gumption, the member today, to put up on that projector screen for the whole country to see those sidewalks in St. John's? Those sidewalks that he claimed that you have spent a total of what? $113 million in St. John's for World Cup. $113 million. Madam Speaker, how much miles of road was done in St. John's? 4 miles? Less than 4 miles. So even taking the $2.5 million a mile, Madam Speaker, that is $10 million. So where the other $100 million gone? Where the other $100 million gone? In curbs and drains and those sidewalks in St. John's? $100 million was spent on that foolish epoxy that is $22 a square foot. What do we name? We name Israel or Venezuela or Iraq that we are full of money? That we can spend $22 a square foot? I want to know where that $100 million gone. It is a scandal. A scandal, a scandal. Never ever in the history of this country, when the honorable member for St. Philip's North was Minister of Public Works for so many years, or myself a few, have we ever spent in public works more than $70 million? And this year, in the budget, they're going to spend nearly between recurrent expenditure and capital expenditure, $236 million for public works. And there's no checks, there's no balances, there's no system from the Ministry of Finance to check. And the member for St. Philip South, paving all the roads in Woolies, paving them like rain falling, but yet he neglecting the poor member for St. John's Wool North. No roads in Yorks, none in Cedar Grove, and he neglecting the Prime Minister. He neglecting that the Prime Minister have to bring in C.O. Williams. Through the same David Chowell, outside of Public Works, torpedo the whole Ministry of Public Works and the Director of Public Works, and bring in his own C.O. Williams to deal with roads in World West. So you understand, you get the picture now, why the Ministry of Finance have no checks and balances at Public Works. It is outrageous. The member for St. Philip's South is my good friend. But he can't leave it up to inexperienced people like Desmond Charles and them to go and spend $100 million. What expertise they have in curbs and drains. All the business people in town bawling. They're crying, Madam Speaker, that when it rains, that their places are flooding out. Some of the sidewalks higher than the doorsteps, Madam Speaker, to go in. The people in them shop, go and ask them. It's no lie, Madam Speaker. There's no levels. Oh, they look pretty. They paint them up blue and yellow and gold dust. Yeah, they look nice. But that is money misspent. Money that we could have taken to do other things, Madam Speaker. And I'll tell you some other areas. $30 million in consultancy and professional fees. Madam Speaker, $30 million in consultancy and professional fees. Who are these consultants? Who are these professionals? What is the IMF guys that you're paying $30 million to? Who are we paying these fees to? Under the Labour Party, Madam Speaker, if you look in the estimates, in 2003, we spent less than $2 million on this line item. Do you realize, Madam Speaker, that this $30 million